Hi everyone, hope you're all doing okay. Cara here from Cara's Crafty Ways. It's been a while, I haven't done a video for some time. There's been reasons for that. First one is I dropped my iPad, face down, screen down, straight on top of the plug, so completely shattered the screen. I wasn't kind of sure if I wanted to get another one. I tried to do some videos with the phone, but it just wasn't working, and I thought, well, I've got my PC, so I'll leave it for a while, but I've given in. I've bought a new iPad. The second reason is there hasn't been anything out there that's really given me the wow factor that I really wanted to kind of get on and do a video with. So I haven't done one, but just recently I've discovered a new ladies product called Tracy Evans, and I'm just besotted with them. I just love them. Her service is fantastic. She's so helpful. If you haven't heard of her, then please go and look at her. It's Tracy Evans Boutique Designs. I've started to stock them in the shop now, which is great. And we did a first craft class, face-to-face craft class with them a few weeks ago, and I think the girls liked it. So I've just not done anything else recently, but chose Tracy Evans. So I thought, let's pop on and do a quick video. It might not be quick. It might be quick, I don't know, but let's pop on and do a video. So I've got some products out, so let me tell you what I'm going to be using. Obviously I'm going to be using the Wellington boots, as you can see there. Tracy Evans TE51, which is the Wellington boots and other things. We're just going to use the Wellington boots out of here. I've got the stencil out. I've not used this yet, which is S5. I might use it, I might not. I've got some ideas in my head, so we'll keep that out. We're going to be using the flower, excuse me, the flower and the wheelbarrow in TE14. I'm going to be using the poppy, but just these little poppies here, which is TE39, and then the script from TE43, which I absolutely adore. So that's the stamps that we're going to be using. I'm going to be doing something with background with inks. I feel, well, it's spring, although you wouldn't think it with the weather. So I've got my izink sprays now, and these are pearly sprays. So I've got a yellow, a green, and then I've got a darker green and an orange. And we're going to do something with those. I've also got glossy accents out because I'd like to glossy accent the wellies, give them a bit of a shine. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. I've got some colouring pencils out, Prisma colours. So I have PC923, PC921 and PC1003. So that's Scarlet Lake, Pale Vermilion and Spanish Orange that I've got out there. I've got all my stamps mounted on blocks ready. So, but we're first of all going to do the background. So I'm just going to get some kitchen towel, bear with me. I'm just going to take a piece of 6x4 card, all pre-cut. I've got two out. I might do the sandwich technique. We'll see what it comes out like when we've done the spraying. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is spritz it with water, just to dampen it slightly and help that ink move. And then I'm going to take the yellow. We need to shake these to get the pigment in them to work. And I don't want too much, because we've spritzed it first, it'll move it. And then I'm going to take the paler green and a little bit of the orange, which is orange pastel. And then what I want to do is I want to take some of this darker green and I just want to drop it. I don't want much. And then I'm going to take my spritzer again, and I just want to move this around now, let it fall around. Just going to get the pokey tool, wherever it's gone. There it is. I just want to hold that down while I just spritz. Putting quite a bit of water on it, and I'm just going to do the sandwich method because I don't want the background too dark. Lift that up, and I've got a paler one, which I'm going to leave to dry, and then I've got this one. And I'm just going to pop that to one side because I want it to dry naturally. Bit of baby wipe. And let's just clean this up. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to stamp the Wellington boots. Okay, so let's get a piece of card. And we're going to stamp this. You need plenty of ink on the wellies. Sometimes I find that I get little tiny bits on them as well. You can clean them off, but I'll show you a tip if you do get little spotty white bits on them. Plenty of pressure. Lift that up. So there's just a little spot there, and all I do is I just take my Sharpie and I just fill it in. So let's clean this stamp up because you know me, I'm a person that likes to keep the stamps clean. Okay, I just want to dry this, so I'm just going to dry it off the camera. Okay, just then we're going to cut the Wellingtons out. So just a small piece of scissors, and we're just going to fussy cut these wellies out. Just cut around the edge. Now I don't want that opening, so I'm just going to cut that out because I'm going to have flowers coming out of the Wellington, I think. So just fussy cut those out. You'll have to excuse my fingers because I've been in the craft room all day. I've been working on various projects for craft classes, and I'm obviously a messy crafter. I'm sorry if you can hear the radio in the background, but I can't stand silence. Okay. Now I don't want this white bit down here, so I'm going to trim that away. And if there's still a little bit there, again, you can just take your Sharpie, just fill that bit in. Okay, so now I'm going to glossy accents these. So I've just got Ranger glossy accents, and it just gives it a fabulous shine. And you've just literally, you just cover it with glossy accents. Now, you've just got to make sure that you don't have any bubbles. So you need to fill in all your space. Don't put loads and loads on because it will just take forever to dry. I've got a couple drying over there. They may not be dry by the end of the video, so we may have to use the ones I've pre-stamped there, but let's hope not. Now, it's a bit awkward because if you do drop this, I can tell you it will ruin it. So we're just going to fill it in. I have tried to see whether you can heat dry it, but it didn't work for me. You may have a different experience, but it just did not work for me. And I'm just going to pop these out of the way to dry. Okay. I'm just going to put that phone on silent because I have a feeling somebody's going to ring me in a minute. Just bear with me. Just got glossy accents all over my phone now. Okay. Right. And then I'm going to stamp the little stamp. I want this several times. I'm going to stamp it 3, I think. That should do me, looking at the size of my wellies. Put those to one side to dry. Clean the stamp. Put these out of the way now I've used them. And then I want to stamp the wheelbarrow, and I'm going to stamp this in acorn. Just stamp that. I'm going to cut this out as well. And if you can see, that's drying now. I don't know if you can see the pearlescent, but that's just a lovely second background to use. There we go. Clean the stamp. Excuse me. Right, I'm just going to dry this again. Okay, I'm going to fussy cut the wheelbarrow out as well. Just fussy cut around that, around the wheel. Now I'm not going to cut inside this bit because I'm going to stand the Wellingtons in front of there, so I don't actually need to cut that white bit out. Okay, I'm just going to turn the radio because I'm conscious you might, so I'm just going to turn it down a notch. I'm conscious it might be drowning me out, right, which might be a good thing, but there you go. Right. I know these are a little bit, but you can do it. I really enjoy fussy cutting. I do. As I said, I'm not bothered about this here because we are going to stand the willies in front of it like that. So I'm not bothered about that. Okay. So let's just dry these. And then we're going to colour them in with the pencils. So I'm going to start with the lighter one and just lightly give it some colour. I've gone for summery colours to try and bring a bit of summer. It's dreadful here, but so just lightly over the top. I had a small set of these Prismas up until recently, and I've just decided to go for it and bought the full set. Then I'm going to go in with the next colour, which is Pale Vermilion PC921, and I'm just going to do top and the bottom of the petals. To say, I've been I'm going to get back in with this one now. I've just been obsessed with these stamps. I think she's just very amazing, talented lady. And I think she gets a lot of her inspiration from the garden. So that's another thing I envy her for, because I'm not a gardener. We're going to go in with the darker one now at the base. Just darken it up. Just love these pencils. And then with the middle colour, and then back in with the pale one. I'm just going to come across some of these tips. Yeah, they are amazing pencils. Back in with the lighter one. Okay, and then we'll go in and do the other two exactly the same. Again, we're going to fussy cut these out. I'm going to fussy cut them out. You can just lose yourself in colouring. Absolutely lose yourself. It's the dog snoring, if you can hear him. Not me. Okay, then I'm going to come in at the base. And then back in with this to blend it. And then with the dark on again. Sorry, I need to come in with this one. Sorry. And then I'm going to take this the darker colour, Scarlet Lake, and just do some of the tips. Okay. As I say, I'm doing autumnal colours. I mean summer colours, not autumnal. Well, they can be autumnal as well, but I wanted to go summery, bring a bit of summer into my life. Spring. It feels like it's been an extremely long winter. I don't know about anybody else, but it feels like to me. It's such a small flower, this is, that if it was bigger then I'd be a bit more sort of detailed, but okay, and I'm going to fussy cut these out now. So we've got 3 of these to fussy cut out. And just take your scissors, just move the paper and not the scissors, or the card, not the scissors. So I could just sit and fussy cut. I really enjoy it. So I just haven't seen anything that's really given me that wow factor recently, apart from Tracy's stamps, and then I think I've got all of them now. Not far off anyway. And her stencils were also magic as well. Let me just capture that bit there. I haven't, I'm not really somebody who does journals, but I bought one of the journals from her, and I'm loving that, because sometimes you don't want to make a card. You go up in the craft room and you think, oh, if I'm going to make a card, it's just another card I've got to find a home for or try and sell. I mean, I'm fortunate that I do have outlets where I can sell my cards, but you sometimes think, oh, I don't really want to make another card. So I found that just doing a journal page is brilliant. And you can just do the journal page to how you're feeling on the day. It's a really good way of expressing yourself. So, and I've just started doing the trinches. So I've done a few of those. But I do prefer doing a full journal page, if I'm honest. Trinches are good if you've got some leftover. If you've got some leftover backgrounds that you want to use up that aren't big enough for a card, then it's good if you can just use those for trinches, which is good. But I love watching Tracy's videos as well. She's yeah, what you see is what you get. A bit like me. I don't edit my videos. If I make a mistake, it's all and all. Because as crafters, we make mistakes. And I can see little bits on the edge here where I just want to go in and just get rid of that whiteness. Right, so that's 3 of those cut out. Right, so I'm going to come back to the background now. Let's move these pencils out of the way. So I really, really like that, but I do need to dry it. So I'll just dry it off screen because I don't want the noise of the heat gun to go into the microphone. It does take longer when you use the sprays as opposed to just using inks. It does take a lot longer to dry, but I like to try and let it dry as long as I can naturally. Okay, so let's just dry this. This one's drier because it was the one that didn't take up as much ink. It was the one we put on the top, but I'll then decide which one I want to use. So we've got 2 here, and my idea is that I'm going to have the wheelbarrow, and then I'm going to have the Wellington boots. I might have that a little bit higher up, and then I'm going to use the flowers to come out of the wellies, and then I'm going to use the poppy stamps, and I'm going to stamp them onto the background. But I'm just wondering now which background I want to use, whether I want the darker one or the lighter one. I think they're both quite nice. I'm going to go with the darker one and save the lighter one for Ron, as they call it. But what I want to do is I want to give the background some other sort of textures to it and stamps to it, rather than it just be plain. I'm just going to wipe my hands. The thing with this is the pearlescent does come off on your hands. Let's just get rid of this in the bin that it's been sat on. Okay. Excuse me. Right. So I'm going to take the Magnolia stamp. Now, what I love the Magnolia stamp. It is one of my favourite stamps. But what I do like is this script. I absolutely adore script like this. I've got so many stamps that have got script on them that I've got so much to choose from, but I'm using Tracy's products today. Okay, so I'm going to go with Nocturne. In fact, what I'm going to do, we nearly had an accident then, is I'm not going to use a stamping block. I'm just going to do little bits. And I'm not bothered if it's first and second generation, because I don't want a great deal. That will do. Clean the stamp. Okay. Got it all over me, look. Right, something's come up on the iPad and I can't get to it because it's in the frame. So I'm just going to leave it. Hopefully it's not going to damage the video, but okay. So I want to take that stencil now. Okay. And you get, what I love with Tracy as well, you get the innies and the outies, as I call them. The innies and the outies, which is absolutely amazing, because I love doing things with the innies and the outies when you do stenciling. And I used to make my own stencils so I could get innies and outies. But with Tracy, you get them. You just have to pop them out carefully. They're attached in certain places. This one's attached quite well at this end. Just get the scissors and this one doesn't want to come out. There we go. So I'm going to do some of this around the edge, I think, and I've brought out Forest Moss, and I'm just wondering if that might be, no, we'll go with it. We've brought it out, let's go with it. So I'm just going to get a stencil brush, bear with me, and I just want to capture a little bit. I don't want it too dark, just really slightly around the edge. Just to bring some, and I'm just going to bring a little bit in from the top here. As I say, I don't want to bring a lot in. I do clean the stencil. I like to clean the stencils as well. I like to look after what I've got. Okay. So I've got loads of Wellingtons over there drying. See what I mean about, and I said I wasn't bothered about the bottom. I'm just thinking I'm going to go sort of like that, and then these are going to come across the top there. Then what I want to do is I have got out Green Oasis, and I want to use these two poppy stamps. just sort of, so I'm just going to move slightly so that it looks like these are also in there. So I'm just going to move these out the way. So we've got some poppy stamps. Let's get the bigger one. And I want this one a little bit higher. And if the stem's not long enough, that's not a problem, because I can get one of the pencils and I can actually lengthen it, so, or the flower will hide it. I'm just going to put this back on because I just want to see, because I will also use that to make the faffing. I'm a faffer. Right, let's use this little one again. I want one there. No, I'm not going to go with one there. As I said, I am a faffer. I like to. Right, shall I do another one coming up there? I think I'll do a little one coming just behind there. Okay. So I'm kind of quite happy with that. I don't think I want any more, but I want to. I might bring it down slightly. Before I stick it on, I want to make sure I'm right. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. What I tend to do sometimes when I'm doing this is I take a picture before I glue it on, but I'm okay. Right, this was another thing I've got from Tracy, and I'm absolutely loving them. I have got these, but I find they clog up. They really frustrate me. So I saw Tracy using these and I thought, right, let's give that a whirl. And I'm really pleased with them. Pop that on there. And then let's just design this again. I might do some more of the magnolia stamping. Might do some other magnolia stamping. I have actually got another flower stamp somewhere as well if I wanted to, but I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it. I don't. So I'm just going to get the magnolia stamp again. And I think I'll do some in the green. Get some across here. Bottom. Probably won't see that when I've got the wellies on. There we go. Clean it up. So it is one of my favourites. I just absolutely love script stamps. They're amazing. So let's just check our pop our wellies on. And then we can just plant. I'm kind of quite happy with that. Now, I don't think the wellies I did earlier have dried. I don't. So we'll not be able to put them wellies on, I don't think. But I'll see in a minute because I haven't actually finished. We'll carry on for a minute. Excuse me. So in terms of sentiments, I'm just going to stamp a sentiment. I keep my sentiments in the drawer here. And I've got various different ones. Sometimes I don't put sentiments on until I've actually decided what kind of card it's going to be for. So I'm just going to look through them. That's the hardest thing, I think, finding out what sentiment you want on. I'm just trying to think what kind of things I am short on. I am short on Get Well Soon, but can I see it? There it is, Feel Better Soon. So I think I will do a Feel Better Soon sentiment for this. So what I do is I laminate the packaging and then stick it on. Right, stamping block. Now I think I'm going to stamp it in the green Oasis, because I think we've got enough black with the Wellingtons, but we'll see. We can always stamp it again if I'm not happy with it. Let's see if there's enough on here. Be frugal. Let's be frugal. See? We all do it. I just hate it when you get to that stage where you're just about to put your stamp down and you drop it. And if you're stamping straight onto your card and you drop it on your card. But you can sort it because you can just put it over the top. You can then cut it out, put it over the top. Let's get rid of these pieces of card. Let me just dry it. Right, the bigger scissors. I just fussy cut mine. I don't put them through the cutter. I don't. I fussy cut it. It's relatively a straight line. So, and then it's up to you if you wanted to back that on anything, but you could back it in white. We'll have a look. I want one piece out, Carol. We could back it on a bit of black. There's a bit of black looking at me over here, staring at me. I don't like it with the black. What about the white and then on the black? No. I think I'm just going to go with it on its own. Right, let's have a look at these Wellingtons. So I don't know if you see, they're not dry, but I don't know if you can see that they're actually quite shiny. They're not far off dry, so if I'm careful I can use them. So let's get some glue on them. That one's a bit wet there. Let's see if we can dry it a little bit. I don't want it to bubble. Okay, let's get some glue on. Let's give it a try. And if I just pop it down there. Okay, let's put it up a bit. Right, let's get these flowers on. Now you can have it going under the Wellington, which is what I'm going to do. And then have that one sat on the top there. Just going to push that one over slightly. So I've got lots of Wellingtons over there drying. Right, I'm just going to get a piece of black card to back this on. Sorry about the noise. Gosh, I've got a cup of tea I forgot about. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this piece of card here to just to decide and mark it up. Right, bear with me while I get the cutter out the drawer. Just pop that to one side for a minute. Alright, it's in there. Okay, and then I'm going to just mount this down onto the black. Yeah, I just love these. Best ones I've ever got. And let's just squish that down. I'm going to get card out. If I can shut the sentiment drawer. 5b7, because they're generally the cards I like doing. Mount this. Squish that down. You've just got to be careful if your glossy accents isn't dry, because you'll get marks on it. And then I'm just going to stick that across the top like that, and that is the finished card. So hope you're okay with that. It's just a really quick one, just to get me back into the YouTube in and just to show off Tracy's products. As I say, they are available in the shop. We are using them in craft class, working on another project for them. So those of you that come to my classes, you will know that we've used them and we are going to be using them again. We have a craft class tomorrow, but it's not with Tracy's stuff. We're doing embossing folder techniques tomorrow. So thanks for watching. If I can ask you to like, share, comment, that would be great. And those of you that have been following me, apologies that I haven't been around for a while, but I will come back doing some more of Tracy's projects because I do absolutely adore them. So thank you, Tracy, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.